Alrighty, that's the situation at KULGERA. Still leaking a few drops on the ground there, but nothing catastrophic yet. So I'll run inside and see if I can get some more diff oil, and then we'll see what we do after that.
$20, please.
So I went up the Untitled Chapter through Mount Dare and all that way, and had a quick squiz under the car this morning, and there was quite a bit of oil coming out of that front right swivel hub. Can you just drop in and help me fix it?
Yeah, sure.
Just jump in your car, mate. You'll be here in a couple of days.
Don't worry.
Now look, if that's not an option,
That'll
mate.
be an expensive fix.
It will be expensive. You do house calls, don't you?
I do, mate. But I tell you what, you're gonna have a good fuel bill.
I know. Well, all right. Let's look at Plan B then, mate. Let's say I was going to have a crack at it myself.
It's not something that I feel comfortable letting you do on your own on the side of the road.
Yeah. Okay.
Because you got to be so careful you don't get any dust or dirt or grit into anything, and it's a nightmare. Look, I wouldn't stress too much about it. I would just bloody keep checking your oil, make sure your oil's right.
Yeah.
They don't spill out a lot of oil. Like if you were losing litres every day, then you'd fix it. But
well, I got here to
you're only losing,
Well, I reckon I've lost about less than 100 mils, because I got here to KULGERA, and it's a roadhouse, and and I managed to get a litre of diff oil, and I didn't get 100 mils into it before it overflowed, so it hasn't lost much.
Oh, well, okay, then don't worry about it, mate. It's only minor at this point.
All right. Okay.
I wouldn't stress about it.
You'll have to just come with me next time, mate. That's the thing. You just got to come with me. Then I've got a mechanic on board, and we won't have these problems.
Yeah, and someone who's a bartender.
And a cook.
Yeah, now we're thinking ahead.
Yeah, now we're thinking, mate. Thanks, mate. I'll look forward to catching up when we get back.
Sweet, sounds great, buddy.
Cheers, mate. Catch ya.
See you, matey.
Ciao. Well, that's good. Terry reckons it's all right. Don't stress about it. Just keep putting oil in the diff. As I said before, it only used about 100 mil, not even that. I reckon 50 at the most. So that's great. And I mean, it's been at least 6-8 weeks since I topped up the diff, so that's good. So I will keep going and keep an eye on it. And if we need to get it fixed, we'll get it fixed, but otherwise we'll try and get all the way home and take it into Terry's and get it done properly when we get home. So I've jumped back in the car and thought, well, I best get cracking to Alice Springs. And then I thought, well, do I really need to rush to Alice Springs now? If I don't need to do the repair, then there's no screaming hurry to get there. And this is quite a nice little campsite here at KULGERA. So rather than rushing into Alice now and then having to find somewhere to stay in the dark that takes dogs, I might just stay here tonight, I think. And then I'll just get an early start in the morning. We'll go into Alice, do the things we need to do, and then might even get out of Alice the other side tomorrow afternoon and somewhere up the Stewart Highway. So I'm definitely going to go the Stewart Highway versus the Tanami. Terry said that I shouldn't be an issue with the leaky hub, but I'm not going to tempt fate. I don't want to get halfway down the Tanami, which is 1,000 kilometres of pretty much no services or communications, and then find that it actually turns into something worse. At least on the Stewart Highway, I've got one roadhouse after another, basically, and so if it does get worse, I can get it fixed somewhere along the way. All right, guys. Well, I've checked in, had a shower, first one for a few days. Buddy was starting to complain, and that's getting urgent. And it's a beautiful night here. About 30 or 40 caravans here. I'll show you what I'm cooking for dinner tonight. It's a little bit of a Mexican concoction. Half a packet of mince, and we've got a can of stag chili, a can of sweet corn, some tortilla corn chips, and that's what we end up with. Once again, it's only one pan, one bowl, stirring spoon, 5 things to wash up. Keep it simple, I reckon. So I had a chat to Jen and the girls earlier on, and they're doing well. They're back from Hawaii, they're back home now. And my mum has actually flown over from Adelaide to Melbourne, so she's spending a few days with them there because it's school holidays at the moment. So Jen and the 3 girls and mum are all going to spend a few days together, which is great. They had a fantastic time in Hawaii. Wished I was there, of course. I wish I was there as well, but you know, out here is a good too. Have to tell you, I'm pretty relieved about that bloody swivel hub. I was thinking that was going to be a pretty major drama. No, major, you know, I mean, there's a worse things could happen, I get that. But I'm a reasonably tight time frame, and I didn't want to be spending, you know, coming into the weekend. I didn't want to get to Alice Springs and then find, oh yeah, we can do it for you on Monday, maybe Tuesday, because today's Thursday. So that would have cost me potentially 4 days, which I really don't have. So it's a big relief. Terry said it should be fine, just keep putting oil in the diff. I can do that. But I'm definitely going to go the Stuart Highway up the middle though, just to keep, I don't want to, you know, push my luck. So the other thing I've noticed, I've always had a Telstra phone, Telstra mobile, like since my first one in the 90s. And for the most part, Telstra has far and away the broadest coverage across the country. But a few months ago, I had restored an old iPhone 6 that a friend gave me, put a new screen on it, and I bought a $10 a month SIM card from a Maysim. This is not a plug for a Maysim, just happens to be where I got it from. $10 a month, unlimited calls, unlimited texts, and a gigabyte of data. So, do everything I wanted to do, and I actually use it for my work line. If you ring the website while I'm not there, it diverts through to that mobile. So I've got a work phone and a personal phone. But a Maysim uses Optus, so I've got an Optus phone and a Telstra phone now. And you know, since I left Lee Creek, my Telstra phone has not had any connections at all. But the Optus one has worked in Mari, William Creek, Udadada, and now here at KULGERA. None of those places the Telstra one works. So Optus is definitely getting out there and into the remoter sections too, where Telstra's not already established. So that's a great thing. So it's worth thinking about, if you're on Telstra like I am, getting yourself grab that old iPhone that's in the top drawer or whatever, get a $10 a month SIM card, chuck it in there from an Optus provider like a Maysim or whoever else, and have both networks. $10 a month, it's pretty good insurance to make sure that you can connect. Because, you know, as much as it's nice to get away from it all, to be honest, I'd like to be connected so that I can deal with things as they come up. I can take calls, I can, you know, order new parts for broken wheel bearings and things like that. Anyway, I'm gonna have some dinner. Pretty good. Actually, you know what will improve it? The wing sauce. Yeah, it's better. A little bit more kick. It's the next day and we're back on the blacktop. On our way out of KULGERA now and heading north to Alice Springs. About 270 kilometres. The plan for the day is pretty simple. Go to Alice Springs, grab a few more food supplies, fill up with fuel, check email, respond to emails and all that sort of stuff. I've been offline for, this is the 3rd day now, so there'll be a few waiting there, no doubt. So I'll probably sit down in Macca's and grab a coffee and work through those. And then I think I'm just going to keep going. I reckon if I get 100 k's up the road further up Stuart Highway by the end of the day, we'll do that rather than stopping tonight in Alice Springs. Now the good news is the Northern Territory state speed limit is 130. So I could in theory be doing 130 right now. The reality is something different though, of course. This car would never do 130. Not downhill, not with a tailwind. Maybe if it's being pushed by something much faster and more powerful. Yeah, so I'm still sitting on my 99, 100 thereabouts, and being passed by pretty much everything. But that's alright. We don't mind, we'll get there. We'll get there eventually. No big hurry. This guy's in front of holding up a sign in the back of their car. Can't quite read it, but I think they're saying hello. I think they might have recognised the car. They're waving to me. Good morning, guys. Back on the road and heading north. And just a quick recap of the last 24 hours. Got into Alice Springs yesterday afternoon. I think it was around about 1:30, something like that. And yeah, it was a pretty manic few hours. Alice Springs is a surprisingly busy little town, and there was even a couple of police officers on horses getting around, which was quite interesting. So yeah, I didn't do any filming while I was there. There really was nothing. I mean, watching me run around a supermarket and trying to find a car park and things like that was probably not exactly gripping content. And I wasn't there to see Alice Springs as such. It was more of just a passing through. So what I did is I filled up with fuel in the afternoon, and then I headed up the Stewart Highway to just the first free roadside stop that I found, which is only about 30 k's up the road. It's actually on the Tropic of Capricorn. And a nice little spot right next to the road, and there was about half a dozen other cars there. And yeah, so we spent the night there. It was another freezing night. I reckon last night was as cold as any night we've had. But today we're going to really start to move into the warmer zone. I'm just going to keep driving all day today. There's no specific destination in mind. Just want to get as far up the Stewart Highway as I possibly can, and then tomorrow maybe get as far as Katherine or Daly Waters or something like that. So I'm pretty much up the top, ready to then head across to Lake Argyle on Monday. I'm feeling pretty good about deciding not to go up the Tanami. I was definitely planning to go up the Tanami. I love the Tanami road, been up and down it now a couple of times, and it's about the most isolated place you can get in Australia. I started running through scenarios of, well, what happens if something does break down, and the number of burnt out wrecks you see on the side of the road doesn't give me a great deal of confidence that I'd have a car to come back to. If I had another adult with me, then I would, because if something went wrong, one person could stay with the car, one person could go get help. Yeah, as I was saying earlier about my concerns of leaving the car on the side of the road and going for help and wondering what you'd come back to. You have to wonder if something like that happened here. Looks like a relatively newish car. It's not like some old banger. Doesn't look like it's crashed at all. There's no real damage, it's just burnt out. So we'd never really feel comfortable leaving the car on the side of the road in these parts, that's for sure. So I'm currently approaching a milestone on the odometer here. Going to hit 400,000 kilometres in 33 kilometres from now. And I've been knowing it's been coming. I've been keeping an eye on it for the last few weeks, and realised that it would happen on this trip. And so I've been sort of paranoid about missing it, because you get distracted staring out the window and whatever else, and then oh no, I've missed it. That's what I was worried about. So I'm still paranoid about it, because I know it's still another 20 minutes away. This will say 400,000 on the odometer, but it won't actually be correct. It'll be the car will have already done more than that. because with the larger tyres, the speedo's out by about 5%. So when it says 95 on the speedo, I'm doing about 100. So for a lot of the car's life, it's had tyres bigger than what it was shipped with and designed with. So in reality, it's probably done more like 420,000 already, something like that. Ready. Champagne cork's ready, and there she goes. 400,000 kilometres. Woo! That is awesome. So we bought this car in 1998, September 98, and it had about 91,000 on it, I think. And had only one owner, and it was completely 100% stock standard as it had come out of the showroom. So it had done 90,000 kilometres in 7 years. It was 7 years old, and so very low kilometres for its age at that stage, and pretty much now as well. And so we bought the car, Jen and I, because we were heading up to Cape York, our first time we actually ever went to Cape York, and went to work and started adding all the good bits, suspension and bull bar and a rear locker and so on and so on. And we bought our boat, and I got a custom rack made for it by Tradesman Roof Racks, and so we could take our boat up to Cape York. So that was our first massive trip, and we literally had the car for a month, not even that, probably only a few weeks, before we went and did our like 10,000 kilometre round trip up to Cape York and back. So happy birthday Land Cruiser, happy 400,000. So Wycliffe Well is apparently the UFO capital of Australia. I think that might be self-proclaimed, but the sightings of UFOs apparently in this area are much higher than everywhere else. And can't say that I've seen any myself yet, but I'm always on the lookout, scanning the skies at night time and things like that. But anyway, interesting place to stop in. So it's a nice campground here, but I must admit the razor wire is slightly concerning. Or maybe it's to keep the UFOs and the aliens out, that's what it would be. Anyway, best keep moving. So we're just about to roll into Tennant Creek, and I don't want to stay in Tennant Creek, but Tennant Creek has brilliant 4G phone range, and I do want to have internet connectability tonight. I want to do a blog post, like an update on the trip so far, and I want to send out a newsletter to our subscribers and customers. And so looking up the highway, there isn't much else. There's the next range is at Elliot, and then pretty much after that we're talking about Katherine. So instead of staying in Tennant Creek though, just through town, just on the other side, there's a free campsite called the Devil's Pebbles, and I found it on Wikicamps. Looks pretty good, and it's pretty close to the town, so it should still be in the phone range zone. So I'm going to go and check that out. It's about 20 to 3, so it'll be about 3 o'clock by the time we get there. I think this will do us for the night. It's pretty good. It is literally like a miniature version of the Devil's Marbles further back down the Stewart Highway. It'll do for a campsite. I didn't see anything about having to pay for it. It looks like some sort of mini national park or something like that, but there's no pay here or anything like that, so I think it's free, which is great. Someone's even left us some firewood. Not that there's really enough there for a fire, but that's fine. So, might get the awning out, get the laptop out and do a bit of work. blankets need to go in the wash. What do you reckon? Eh? What's wrong with you? That's what we want. Alright, so that's the current situation there. Bit of splatter on the tyres up on the guard there, but it doesn't seem to be getting dramatically worse. That's the main thing. As long as it holds out, I'm keeping an eye on those studs are still there in the bottom there. We don't want to lose those. So we're just waiting at the traffic light here at some roadworks. We're on the Victoria Highway heading between Katherine and KUNJARRA, but we're going to stop at Timber Creek tonight, which is about another couple of 100 k's down the road. Last time we stayed at Timber Creek was on the Big Lap, and I remember it was quite a beautiful grassy area that we could camp on, and in the evening they took you down by the river and fed the freshwater crocs, which was really cool. But I'm not sure I'm going to get there in time for that today, if they are doing it today, because it's likely that it'll be getting on for dark by the time I get there, so I'll probably miss that, unfortunately. But if that's the case, I might see if I can catch it on the way out, depending on the time of day and so on. Anyway, so I'm just going to get through these roadworks here. Looks like we're about to get the green light any second now. There we go, the green light. I'll tell you what, I've noticed it's suddenly a lot hotter. We've gone from the middle of a country a couple of days ago where it was, about 20 degrees in the day and literally freezing at night, and to now it's hot in the day. We must be nudging 30 degrees, low 30s, something like that. Not stinking hot, but relative to what I've been experiencing the last few months, it's hot. Buddy's certainly noticing as well. There's a lot more panting going on back there. That's alright. That is not a complaint. That is a good thing, because talk about escaping that Melbourne winter. This is breakfast. Brussels sprouts and zucchini, bit of butter, salt and pepper. It's quite nice. Not what I would normally have for breakfast, but not bad. The thing is, I'm going into Western Australia today, and you can't take any fruit and veggies or honey over the border. And so I bought up some a few things veggies wise in Alice Springs, and figured I would eat them by the time we got to the border, but unfortunately I wasn't eating them as fast as I thought I would. So last night I cooked up a whole heap of veggies and chucked in a chicken fillet and some curry sauce, made a curry out of it. This morning it's Brussels sprouts and zucchini. Buddy's had about 3 carrots, haven't you? Eh? And yeah, we'll get rid of the last bits and pieces before we get to the border in a few hours. It's a really beautiful spot here, Timber Creek. The river down here, it's got freshwater crocs in it, and you're here on the right day. I think it's Saturday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I'll check. I'll put it on the screen anyway. And they at around sunset or just before sunset, they feed the crocs. Just dangle some meat in the water, and they come up and feed. I've got some video from when I was here last time. I'll show that.
You see?
These are Johnston River or freshwater crocodiles like the ones in Lake Argyle. They're not aggressive like saltwater crocodiles, so generally not regarded as being dangerous.
Oh, here he comes, Lucky. Get alive.
I saw 2 turtles and lots of fish and 2 crocodiles.
Yeah?
Yep.
And the trees are full of these flying foxes, and they're just a constant background noise. But it's really nice, very green, lots of grass, beautiful spot. Definitely worth a stopover on your way across the Victoria Highway, one way or the other. Also driving here last night was just gorgeous, as it was sort of close to sunset. There's all the escarpments and everything as you're going across Gregory National Park. Beautiful. So the plan for the day, I'm going to pack up. I've virtually packed up anyway. Going to have a shower. It's a bit hard if I leave Buddy with a car. He whines and carries on. Very needy dog you are. And so that's probably the biggest challenge I've had so far, taking him with me on a road trip. It's just he needs to be with me all the time. And it's not like he just says, oh, he's off now and crawls under the car and has a sleep for a while. He just stands there at the end of his rope, you know, pulled tight, just whining and pining for me to get back. But he's fine in the car. If I leave him in the car, he's okay. As we discovered yesterday he's about to knock the tripod over here. As we discovered yesterday in Katherine, I obviously can't leave him in the car unless it's a nice, cool, shady spot. This is one of the challenges of travelling with a dog, is what to do with them when you need to go to shops and things like that. Because it's just me, I can't leave him with someone else. I found a little bit of a shady spot, but it's not that great. So I'm now looking at my list of things, which has only got about 6 or 7 things on it, and thinking maybe I'll just grab them in KUNJARRA when I'm in there in a few days. So, yeah, it's going to be something I'm going to have to manage over the next 4 or 5 days. Come around here. Buddy, back around there. Down there. Around there. So anyway, I can leave him in the shade here. I'll grab a shower, and then we'll hit the road to Lake Argyle, and then see what the next 4 or 5 days brings, eh? Should be pretty good. Down this way. Well guys, I have arrived at Lake Argyle, let me just say that. And first thing I noticed is, wow, it's just grown since last time I was here. The caravan park and everything around it. It was just, it was pretty basic when we were here originally on the big lap trip when I filmed Discovering Lake Argyle. And now it's just grown every square inch of it. It's got camping space, and it's awesome. Lots of trees and grass and shade. It's just beautiful. So I've had to catch up with Charlie, and Charlie owns the place, and Caitlin, who's his manager, and they've worked me out an itinerary that's got me absolutely going flat out for the next 5 days. I've actually decided to extend a day. It's now Tuesday afternoon. I'm going to be here till the end of the day, Sunday, just to try to squeeze it all in. And obviously they want me to experience as much as possible and include as much as possible in the new edition of the film, and that works for me because I obviously want to make the best film I can. And hey, let's face it, I also want to experience it all myself, you know. And we're talking helicopters, planes, boats, and all that fun stuff. So the next 5 days is just going to be full on. So I'm going to be doing a combination of filming everything I need to for the update for the documentary, and also filming it all at the same time for this YouTube series which I'm making. So you guys will get to see it all as well. And it's a different thing, you know. The YouTube is a different format. The documentary is really telling the story of the area and everything that's here, whereas the YouTube series is more about like a vlog, video blog, you know. It's like my story of this particular trip. And so it's going to be interesting to be filming both at the same time and then cutting them in different ways when I'm finished. But anyway, the gist of it is you're going to get to experience it all along with me as I do it. How's the view? Is it good?
Very beautiful.
Good?
Yeah,
Good. Why am I walking down a track, you might be asking? Well, the first thing that I did when I got to Lake Argyle, back in the big lap days, come on buddy, come on, was we got here in the afternoon and we went for a walk. Me and another guy who was we'd been travelling, not travelling with, but we caught up with a couple of times along the Gibb River Road, and they were here and we were here, and we said, oh, let's go for a walk over the other side of the bluff there. So, since I had nothing scheduled this afternoon, thought, hey buddy, how about we go for a walk over the other side of the bluff? And it's a beautiful view of the back across the caravan park and across the lake and towards the sunset. And yeah, we'll see how it looks. And then tomorrow, the itinerary starts 6:45 on a bus, transfer bus into KUNJARRA to get onto a boat and cruise up the Ord River from KUNJARRA to back up here to Lake Argyle. And that'll be awesome because that's just such a beautiful stretch of water. Alright, I'm going to stop talking for a sec so I can walk up this hill. That's where we're heading, up the top there. Right up there. That's the caravan park over there. But we'll get a better view of that. And between us and the caravan park is the bay. Literally, it's a massive amount of water in between there. And then if you look the other way, you see over here we've got that building down there, right in the middle there. I'll zoom in. That is the Argyle Downs homestead. That's the original Durack family homestead that was would have been submerged under Lake Argyle when it was made, when it was the lake filled in the early 1970s. But instead they dismantled the whole thing, put it all in drums and pallets and everything like that, and stored it. And then some years later they rebuilt the whole thing down there, and we'll check that out while we're here. Apparently a lot of work's been done on it since I was here last, so I'm pretty keen to see what's changed. And this is like just a tiniest little sliver of the lake. When we get out there, you'll see just how massive and beautiful it is. This is just like a little tip of it. That's about it. So instead of standing here talking about it, buddy, let's do it, shall we? Let's go. Boy, up. Good boy. Wait for it. Wait for it. Cue epic music. Oh, look at that. Whew. How's that for view?
Wiser, a little grey, a little wider, but you were still lovely to me. You were older, wiser, a little grey, a little wider, and I'm just sitting wishing you were with me. So I'm just sitting wishing you were with me.
Ready for the next group?
Phil, balsamic leaf.